2 hours? Again? Ain't nobody got time for that. Hey folks, Tuesday night was the second night of blind auditions on season 7 of The Voice. 2 hours again. I think they do that every season, but I think I always forget before the next season, and so then I'm totally thrown off by it. 4 hours for one show in 1 week? That's a little bit too much. But anyway, the first audition of the night was from 25-year-old Danica Shirey. Didn't look 25, did she? She says that she grew up listening to Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey, and she likes to sing R&B. I was like, oh, honey, no, please, no, Whitney. Not this early in the season. I just can't take it. But she didn't sing Whitney Houston. She sang Big White Room by Jessie J, a Jessie J song that hasn't been war slam out on these shows just yet. I thought that was refreshing. And I quite liked it. I don't know if I was nuts about that yodely thing that she does with her voice, but overall I thought it was really good. Everyone except for Blake turned around for her. Gwen basically promised her a makeover. I don't know if that was her way of saying, girl, you look a mess or what, but she looked fine to me, but whatever. Danica ended up going with Pharrell though, which was no surprise. Next up was 17-year-old Joe Kirk. He grew up singing at a resort in Myrtle Beach with his family, and his mom says that they were called a modern-day Partridge Family. Not sure if that's really something to brag about, but anyway, for his audition, Joe sang Lego House, and it was fine. Not even close to being good enough to warrant the quick 4-chair turn that he got, but it was okay, I guess. When it was over, Gwen asked Joe if he had an idol, and he said his brothers. Oh, brother, how very Brady Bunch of him. Joe, I think she meant someone famous. He ended up going with Adam, though, because Adam said he felt like his big brother, and that'll probably be the end of him, but you never can tell. Next up is 19-year-old Menlik. Well, that name's just a dirty joke waiting to happen, isn't it? No, Menlik is a reggae singer who was inspired to audition for The Voice after seeing Tessanne Chin. Now he wants to prove to his parents that he made the right decision when he dropped out of high school to pursue music. No, Menlik, regardless of how well you do on the show, and you aren't going to win, it was still the wrong decision. Should have listened to your parents. But anyway, for his audition, Menlik sang Santeria, and it was fine. Oh, not for a second did I feel like I was watching the winner of season 7, but he got Blake and Gwen to turn around though. Gwen waited until the ass end of the performance to turn around, but Menlik don't want to be a country singer, so he went with Gwen. Now he needs to work on his personality, because when he was talking, there was like no expression on his face or in his voice. It was like watching a zombie. Next up was 35-year-old Jimi Milligan. Apparently, people are often surprised to hear Jimi sing the way he does because he's so heavy, but as he pointed out, fat people can sing too. That's right, Jimi, you tell him. We heavy guys, we can do things just as well as all them skinny folk can do it. Well, except for diet and exercise, of course. No, for his audition, Jimi sang Get Ready, and he's clearly a good singer, but it was an awful song choice. Boring as all get out, so nobody hit their buttons. Next up was 15-year-old Reagan James. She's from Kelly Clarkson's hometown. They love to act like Kelly Clarkson is one of theirs on this show, don't they? Remember back a couple of seasons ago when they called her part of the Voice family? No, anyway, before Reagan even opened her mouth, I said to myself, oh no, she's gonna be one of them quirky girls that pronounces her words funny, and the coaches are gonna eat it up, and people at home are gonna eat it up, and I'm not really gonna like it, and that's pretty much what happened. She sang Gimme Love, and she was less quirky, I guess, than some of the other quirky girls from seasons past, but still, I wasn't blown away. Gwen and Blake both turned around for her, and they all acted amazed that she's only 15, like they've never heard a teenager sing on this show a zillion times before. She ended up going with Blake, though. Pharrell says that he's going to steal her later on. I don't believe that, but we'll see. Next up was 25-year-old Taylor Phelan. He gave up music to get a job when his daughter was born. That's always treated like the saddest story on these shows, isn't it? It's like, whatever sad stories people might have, getting a day job and being a responsible parent instead of a working musician, it's always treated as like the most tragic one. But anyway, Taylor came out with his guitar and sang Sweater Weather for his audition. Didn't even play the guitar for the first good chunk of it. Some people would say that he's hiding behind his guitar. On this show, though, they treated it like an act of boldness, which I don't think it was, but no, I thought he was pretty good. One of the better auditions of the night. I didn't love it as much as the coaches did, but I usually don't. All four of them turned around for him, and they all laid it on pretty thick. Gwen felt as if she was at a festival watching a regular band. I don't know what a regular band is, but I don't know if that sounded as much like a compliment as she meant it to, but anyway, he ended up going with Pharrell. Next up was 18-year-old quirky girl Caitlin Lucia, and you knew she was going to be one of them quirky girls by way of the flowery dress, and the way they introduced her as a Pez dispenser collector. For her audition, she sang You're the One That I Want. She's not the one the coaches want, though. nobody turned around for her. Next up is 24-year-old Sugar Joans. That sounds like a stripper name, don't it? Now, apparently Sugar's dad was a pretty successful background singer back in the 80s, but she says that she wants to pave her own way through and make her own journey. It's not like Daddy's got a whole bunch of favors left over from the 1980s to call in for anyway, but whatever. For her audition, she sang Chain of Fools, and she got a chain of fools in red chairs to turn for her at the last second. Gwen and Blake both hit their buttons. I was hoping they would pass her by, if for no other reason that maybe people would stop singing this song, because this song is so wore out. As long as they keep letting people through, though, who sing it, people are going to keep singing it, and I don't like that. But anyway, Sugar ended up going with Gwen. Next up was 21-year-old Taylor Brashears from Nashville. Didn't it seem like almost everybody so far has been from either Tennessee or Texas? Not a whole lot of variety in there. But anyway, Taylor is a cashier on a food truck, and her brother cooks the food and she serves it or whatever. But she says that it's one of the coolest jobs a person could ever have. Personally, it sounds like hell on earth to me, but maybe that's just me. For her audition, she sang You're Not Woman Enough to Take My Man by Loretta Lynn. And I love Loretta Lynn, but I didn't love this audition that much. I mean, it was okay, but I didn't think her voice was all that strong. Everybody except for Gwen turned around, though. But Blake waited until the last nanosecond. And he can give whatever excuse he wants. Well, he said that he was just waiting to hear the whole song. I just don't think he was sold on it, and neither was I. Because, you know, when Blake enjoys a performance, he's going to turn around for it. So I don't think he really enjoyed it that much. She ended up going with him anyway, though. Next up was 28-year-old Andy Cherry. He once had a record deal with a Christian label, but apparently didn't sell diddly squat, so they dropped him. So this was his second chance, and it didn't work out either. He sang Everybody Wants to Rule the World, but nobody wanted to turn their chairs. And the last of the night was 36-year-old Maiya Sykes. Her mom worked 3 jobs to put her through college, and she triple majored at Yale, and now she's a wedding singer. That's a little bit tragic, isn't it? For her audition, she sang Stay With Me, and everybody hit their buttons in the first few seconds. Well, she's one of them big singers, and at the end of the show, you know it's going to be a 4-chair turn. So you knew they were going to love it. I liked the first half better than the second half. I mean, overall it was good, but I wouldn't call it otherworldly. I didn't love it, but it was okay. I have no doubt that she'll make it to the live shows, though, unless she screws up really, really bad. She went with Team Pharrell, though, but Gwen, once again, tried to win her over by talking fashion, and I don't think she's doing herself any favors when she does that, because we all know there have been plenty of times over the years where Gwen Stefani has looked like one of the lost Ringling brothers. So, anyway, that was it for week 1 of the blind auditions. Leave me a comment and let me know what you thought about the show. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, come be my Facebook friend, and I'll see y'all next week.